Thank you for joining this practice today on twists. Okay, so I'm starting, oh, something fell. I'm starting by coming onto my mat, and I'm going to come onto my back, and you'll see how we'll start doing some twisting actions, but gradually we will push it up towards more. Okay, so I have my knees bent, my feet are wide on the mat, and just take a moment here, like we do many times when we start, to in a way ground yourself and sense anything that shows up. So usually when we are able to lie down and we have this supportive way of being, we are able to, in a way, release a little bit of the steam that we hold in, right? And I'm not only talking about heat in the body, but sometimes tension that we hold in different areas. So let your body kind of like sink. And then with that, invite the breath to become fluid, long. And if you can, and if you don't feel congested today, maybe you can practice breathing in and out through your nose. If that becomes difficult, or today it's a challenging thing to do, of course, you breathe through the mouth, or you exchange like a little bit of both, okay? Good. The first thing we are going to do while getting into this flow of the breath is to bring both knees towards the chest. I'm not making them together, but I'm keeping them a little bit wide apart, so kind of like shoulder distance apart. And as I'm pressing my knees, my thighs towards my trunk, I'm going to first do a few circles with my feet, flexing, pointing, play a little bit there with your toes, your ankles, just to release tension and also awaken. They are the joints. Plus, we are starting to pump blood into the legs, okay? Good, after doing a little bit of that, keep the knees as they are, but bring the feet a little closer. So now my knees are in more of like, I'm creating like a V shape, right? So my feet are trying to touch, my knees are a little wider. And with that, again, press your knees gently down towards you. So feel the back of your pelvis grounding a little more. And then instead of holding my knees, I'm going to release my arms either to a T letter or a cactus shape, whichever feels best. And I'm going to bring both my legs over to the right. And I'm going to let my left knee drop over the right one. So we are starting with what we usually call a twist. This is gentle, right? Then I'm going to start moving in the opposite direction. So I'm letting my pelvis drop again into the mat. And now I'm making my left leg heavy. And after the left leg comes down, I'm letting the right one join. And you're going to start feeling, right, that pulling sensation or the stretch, that it's normal, that it's happening as we come and go to the side. So now I'm repeating over to the right. You can give yourself a full breath, then coming back. And I'm going to add one more each side, but this time I'm going to add a little something. So when I get to the right side, and that left leg joins the right one, I'm going to stay there and take the head over to the left. This is also a twist for the cervical spine. And if you can, maybe you shift your upper back a little bit to the right, and that will help you drop your left shoulder a little more. Good. Then I'm slowly returning with the head, bringing my legs back like what we started doing before, over to the second side. And this time when I get there, I'm taking head over to the right and also shifting my upper back a little bit to the left so I can drop my right shoulder. And a full breath here. Soft face, relaxing the throat. Then I'm returning. And this time, as I'm back to the neutral or center, I'm going to put both my feet down. From here, I'm going to put my right foot on top of my left thigh. It looks like a number 4. We do this many times in yoga practice. It's also good for the hips. I'm going to bring both my knees towards me I usually like to keep my right foot active. So by active, I mean that it's like pressing onto a gas pedal, so it's not sleepy. When you activate that foot, you're protecting your right knee. So it's engaging the whole shin muscle area all the way to your knee, okay? Then my right arm is going inside the right leg. I'm threading my fingers behind the left thigh. And if your hands don't get all the way there, you can always bring a belt, a strap, or any kind of like a scarf that you have and pass it behind the leg so you can pull from there, okay? I have long arms, so for me that's easy, but sometimes it's not. Good, then from here, notice once you're here, as you push your knees a little bit away from you, how your lower back lifts off the mat, right? And it's okay because it's normal, your body's joining the movement that you're doing. So let's try and lengthen that lower back by bringing the belly button into your spine. If you do that, you'll feel how that back area in the pelvis gets more grounded, right? Or more flat. So I'm trying to do that, and keeping that, I'm going to swing gently side to side with my legs. And this is a movement that helps a lot in the lower back and the legs and the hips, even though I know we are working on twists today, but I'm adding a little bit of this because it's a pre activity before the twist that I'm going to add. Okay, so a couple of these. And then I'm going to keep that same leg that it's on top, the right one, as it is, and coming back to center. Maybe you're feeling, right, when you were doing those swinging actions, the sensation in the outer hip stretching, which is what we are going for. So if you're feeling that, it's normal. Then I'm going to release my hands, my arms, and put the left foot down on the mat. So I keep my number 4 shape, but I put it down on the mat, okay? Now from here, what I'm going to do is to pick up my hips and move them to the right a little bit. And listen carefully, I'm going to let my legs drop over to the left, but when I do that, my right foot is going to touch the floor and my right knee is going to stay pointing up towards the skies, okay? So my left leg is completely down on the floor or the mat, but my right knee is up. Now I'm going to use my left hand going right on top of my right thigh. So it's right at the place where the hip crease is. So it's right above that, the top of my thigh. And with the heel of my hand, I'm going to push into the thigh to stretch, right, that area in the right side and push it away from me, okay? So while I'm doing that, I'm adding to my twist a little bit more of the lower back open. So I'm combining those two things. Now, if you want and it feels okay and you can do it today, you extend the right arm overhead. So I'm also adding more of a lengthening action in the right side as I'm pushing gently that right thigh with my left hand. Breathing here through the nose. Good, and I'm going to add one more variation to this, which is a deeper twist, and I'm going to slide my left hand all the way to touch my right knee, if you get there, right? If not halfway, it's fine. And then with my left hand, I'm going to now bring that knee all the way down to the floor. So now I'm adding, like I just said, a deeper twist, right? So now my right knee is closer to the floor than before. Even if it doesn't touch, it's fine, right? But instead of keeping it vertical, now I brought it down. And as I do that, again, I'm trying to drop my upper back down. And this time again, I'm adding the twist with the cervical spine, head over to the right. And I'm extending the right arm again. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. And if you think about it, even though my legs are going to the right and I'm open, sorry, to the left, and I'm opening my right hip, my belly, the action that it's doing is to come from the left to the right. So it's opposite to my legs. And that twisting action of the belly and the lower abdomen moving to the right one while my legs are going to the left is actually super beneficial for the internal organs. So if you can kind of visualize those two actions happening, the legs going one way, the lower belly moving the opposite way, that is a nice way to also help it with your visualization. Then I'm returning. Back to my number 4 that I had before, release the right arm and release the right foot. And as you take a breath here, notice if you find or you sense in your body any difference between right and left, okay? If you have lower back sensitivity or there's something going on there, then you go slow and easy, right? You don't have to push your knees down or anything like that. I'm changing left foot on top of the right thigh. I'm bringing my knees towards me. You're gonna feel right away if that left butt side or hip side feels a little like tight. I do, because I know that like one side for me is tighter than the other. So you just feel that. And if you need to soften that, you push your legs away a little instead of bringing them in, okay? Left arm inside the left leg. I'm threading my fingers behind the right thigh or a scarf or a belt. And then I'm pushing my knees a little further away from me. Unless that's too intense, then you keep the knees a little closer. Both, either close or far, are working your hips in different ways. So they are both good, okay? Good, I have my left foot active. Now I'm bringing my belly button into my spine. So I feel more of that groundedness in behind my pelvis. And then I'm going to add those swinging motions, which are a movement before the big twist that we are taking, okay? So I'm going side to side, massaging a little bit of the lower back, and also opening the hips. Good, when I come back to center after 3 to 5 of those swinging motions, I'm going to release the hands, the arms, putting the right foot down. And this time, like we did before, I'm going to first pick up my hips and take them a little bit to the left, and then let my legs come over to the right. First variation we did is with the knee pointing up to the sky, so I'm not dropping the leg down. Okay. Once I have that, this time it's my left leg, which is the one that we are working. Right hand is the one that is going to help me push that left upper thigh away. I'm doing it gently, right? I'm not yanking or pushing hard, but just lengthening that whole left side. And I'm adding my left arm overhead, so it helps me stretch a little bit more. Taking a breath here. Softening the face, relaxing the eyelids. And if any part of this feels like it's too intense, you release what you need to release, right? Maybe the left arm, you need to bend the elbow. Maybe that push that you're doing needs to be softer, okay? Anyways, you're getting the benefits of the shape and the practice. Now my right hand is going to slide towards the knee. And when I get more or less to the top, I'm going to bring the knee all the way down. So now I'm adding a deeper twist. If this feels too intense, you go back to the other one, okay? And then from here, I'm adding the head over to the left. And remember what I said on the other side, we are trying to move the belly away from the legs towards the left side this time. So that movement is more of an internal action, right? So I'm letting those internal organs kind of like return to the other side. Breathing through the nose if you can. Then returning to center slowly and bringing those legs back and taking that left foot down. Awesome, let's take a deep breath here. Notice sensation on one side, sensation on the other side. Nice, good. And then before we turn, I'm going to bring the feet hip distance apart, hug the knees in again. And this time I'm going to rock forward and back 5 times. 2, 3. In number 5, I'm going to sit up. 4. And 5, I'm coming up to a seat. I'm going to turn so you can see me. And I'm sitting with a cross leg position, and doesn't matter which leg is in front, but just remember which one is in front, okay? So we're going to take a simple twist from here. We inhale, arms up overhead. You can lengthen and lift the front of your spine and look up. And with the exhale, I'm going to take my left hand to my right knee, right hand, arm behind me. And I'm going to use the left hand into my knee to help me pull, right? So I'm pulling that hand into my knee so I can turn a little more, and I'm lifting the whole spine. So in no way I have my spine rounded, okay? I'm lifting, And I'm also pressing with my sitting bones into the floor as I take the chest and the belly to the right, okay? Keeping the head above the chest, take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. And I'm going to add an extra twist here, taking the neck and the head over to the left. So it's opposite to your belly going to the right. Good, then I'm going to inhale and return to center. Beautiful, let's go to the second side. Inhaling, arms up overhead, look up, lift the front of your spine. Exhale, right hand to the left knee, left hand behind. If you need to have a block behind you or something to elevate that hand because you cannot reach the floor, all good, add something there. And again, I'm pulling with my right hand so I can bring that belly over to the left, the chest as well. I'm softening the shoulders, elongating the spine. Full breath here. And then I'm taking the head, neck over to the right. Good, then I'm inhaling, back to center. Now I'm going to switch the position of the leg. So now I have my opposite leg in front. And now I'm going to do something different. It's not exactly a twist, but it helps with twisting. So I'm going to put my right hand far out to the right. And when I do that, naturally, my left hip or left sitting bone, they lift a little bit off the floor. So the action that we are going to do, which is normal, right? So the action that I'm going to do is to use my right hand to push the floor down and away. And as I'm doing that, I can feel how that left side is grounding more, okay? So I'm doing that, I'm letting that side stretch. Then I'm going to bring the right side of my chest forward and the left arm overhead. So I'm turning the chest open towards the skies. I'm stretching that left arm over the head. And maybe you're already feeling, as you push with your right hand, how that whole left side is opening up a little more. So side opening is very important also for twisting. And that's why we are adding it here. Then I'm going to look down. And I'm going to walk my hands through the front, which gives me another stretch in the lower back. And I'm moving over to the left so I can reverse the whole thing, right? So I'm going to put my left hand all the way to the edge of my mat or as far as I can go. And as I do that, I can feel naturally how my right hip and sitting bones, they are lifting. So I'm going to push with my left hand, stretch already, and I feel a little bit of that stretching or lengthening action in that side. Then I'm going to bring the left side of my chest forward. So I'm not turning down, but I'm coming towards the front. And then I'm adding that right arm over the head. Taking a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Good, and then I'm slowly walking again back towards the center. Stay there at the center. Stretch those arms a little further out. Drop the head and the neck. Breathing here, trying to make my inhale and exhales even. Good, and then slowly walking back towards the seat. Beautiful, let's extend the legs, move them a little bit here. Good, and now I'm coming into hands and knees position. Let's do 2 cow cats, the undulation for the spine. We inhale, lifting the tailbone, dropping the belly, lengthening the front of your spine, opening the chest, and exhaling, we round. One more of those, inhaling and exhaling. Good, now from here, what I'm going to do is to come back to the neutral and I'm going to do a twist, but with my legs this time. I'm going to cross my right leg over to the left side. So it's passing my left knee. I'm opening my shins a little bit. And from here, keeping my hips above my knees, I'm going to extend my arms and let my chest come down. So I'm pushing the floor, the mat away, bringing the chest down, the head down. Of course, it's not important if the head doesn't touch down. You can always add a pillow or a bolster or a block or anything you have at home. Taking another breath. Good. And then from here, I'm going to lift myself, walk myself back into that tabletop and switch legs. And doing that twist this time with my legs, left leg over the right one to the other side. I'm opening my shins a little bit. And I'm also sending my arms far out, pushing the floor, the mat away to lift the hips up towards the skies, releasing the chest. Good. Then from there, I'm coming back to my tabletop. I'm returning to the hands and knees position. And from here, I'm going to move my knees a few inches back, widen the feet, curl the toes under, look at your hands, turn them a little bit out towards the sides of your mat, and then push. And we come into one down dog here, pressing through the hands, stretching those arms, making the triceps of your upper arms, right? Push down towards your pinky fingers and then pedal the feet a couple of times. I'm going to add a twist here very soon. Okay, so first we open up the backs of the legs a little more by bending one knee and the other, almost like if you're bicycling or walking. And then bringing my feet a little closer so they are more like hip distance apart or a little hair wider than your hips. Lift both your heels, push them out the way again so you really lift those hips, and send both heels over to your right side and let them come down. Once I do that, if you need to bend the knees, you can of course bend your knees, but the important part here is that I still use the power of my arms and my hands to push the floor away so I can lengthen the left side of my body, and I'm also doing like a little twist here, okay? Then I'm lifting both my heels back up, like if I had high heels in this down dog, drawing that belly in, releasing the head. And then I'm moving both my heels over to the left. My toes are pointing to the right. And I'm pushing them out the way. It's a little bit of a twist as I lengthen and stretch that right side. Good. Then I'm slowly returning. Heels lengthen back towards the back of my mat, bringing again the belly button in, the front ribs in. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Draw the lower belly into your body, and then bending the knees, let the torso go, and the neck and the head relax and become heavy. Good, we are going to add another twist here. Some of them, they are a little subtle twists, but they are intense, okay? So take them easy. Good, now from here, I'm going to reopen my feet so they go all the way to the edges of my mat, so I have a wider stand, okay? Then, as I keep my knees slightly bent, which will make it a little easier, I'm going to bring my arms behind and lace my fingers. If this is not possible, again, an opportunity here to get a scarf or a belt or anything that can help you, okay? And after I did that, I'm going to roll my shoulders away from my earlobes and extend my arms behind me. So my shoulder blades, they are coming towards one another, and they are not dropping towards my head, okay? So it's the opposite action. Once I have that, I'm still releasing my head. I'm going to deeply bend my right knee, only the right one, and I'm going to push through my left foot so I can extend my left leg. So right leg very bent, left leg straight. Don't lock your left knee, just use your muscles, right, to extend that leg. And then here is the twist. I'm going to bring the chest over to the left and my arms to the right. Shoulder blades moving away from my head, and I'm dropping the head away. Good. I'm coming back to center, rebending both my knees, sending shoulders away from my ears. And then from there, I'm going to do the opposite. So now I'm going to bend the left knee, pull those shoulder blades away, turn the chest to the right, push with your right foot into the floor so you can stretch that right leg. And as you keep that leg straight, you keep turning belly chest towards the right. Good, I'm coming back, releasing through the arms. Drop everything there. Good, and then bring the feet a little closer to one another. Good. Press through the heels, bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, halfway up. Elbows moving towards one another. Press through the heels so you can come all the way up to standing. Oh my God, it's already time to go to a close. Okay, I'm standing here, shake it a little. I'm going to come a little closer to the center. And we're going to add one more thing, okay, for twisting that is powerful. So my feet are hip distance apart again. I'm going to inhale and come towards what we call a chair shape. I'm sending my sitting bones back and down. And I'm going to add one extra trick. Right elbow to the left knee, palms together. Press the palms into one another so you can send the chest and the belly over to the left. And if you can, look at your right knee. Usually the right knee goes forward more than the left one. So it's totally fine because it's normal. Now I'm going to try and keep the twist that I created and send my right knee a little further back if I can, just a little. Good, then I'm releasing. Last one. Let's come back to that chair. Good, second side, left elbow to the right, palms together. As I push my right palm into the left one, I'm turning belly chest over to the right. And I'm looking at my left knee, which went forward. And I'm going to try and bring it a little bit back. It doesn't matter if it doesn't go all the way back, okay? But keep the chest and the belly moving over to the right. Good, then we release. Press through the feet, inhale, come all the way up. Exhale through the center and arms down. Beautiful. Let's shake it a little bit here. Feet together, hip distance again. Let's inhale, arms up. Exhale and fold. Inhale for that half lift, opening the heart. Exhale and fold. Press through the feet, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to center. And release. Good, before we end, let's move again the body in a twisting motion. I'm going to let my arms go side to side. You can bend the knees and even widen the stance if you need. Going a little bit sideways. This is also really good to ignite better metabolic function. Good, a couple more. Super. And when I come back, I shake it a little bit again. I'm going to go back down into my mat before we end, hugging both knees in, rocking a little bit side to side. Good. And this time I'm putting both my feet down wide again. I'm letting both my knees drop over to the right, arms cactus or T-letter shape, and head to the left. Another breath, relaxing the jaws, the face, the shoulders. Then we return and we take both knees over to the left like a windshield wiper, head to the right, relaxing upper back. 2 breaths. Nice. Let's come back to center. Extend your legs here for a moment. Relax your arms alongside the torso. We take a minute, a short moment here to sink into your mat. You don't need to do anything at this moment. It's an opportunity to just receive in this short little break the whole effect of this practice. And the effect of this practice is not only coming into your physical body, but it's also creating space energetically in your whole being. It's also affecting your mind, your heart, your spirit. So sink into this moment, just a few more seconds. And then very slowly take a deep breath in through the nose, a gentle exhale, maybe a sigh out. And you start regaining gentle movement through the fingers, maybe the toes, and gradually returning to your activities or the next thing that it's coming for you today. Thank you so much for joining Twisting class today. And I hope to see you again next time. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Namaste.